Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Get to the latter half of the season, it's all about the running. How can your nerve hold when everything else around you screams more importance and more difficulty? That's what's been the challenge for so many drivers over the course of this season, but your iRacing Grand Prix Tour makes its important stop at Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. This is Road America, round 20 of 23, and a crucial phase in terms of the championship, which is now slowly falling out of reach SimSpeed-wise, but has hit the pivotal point iRacing-wise. Welcome to the party in the conversation. My name is Jake Sperry, and alongside me in the commentary booth, as per usual for this one, is Jay Kennedy. He's also on the cameras as well, as per usual. But Jay, some things are not as per usual when it comes to this circuit. This is one of the tough, but I would say brilliant challenges in the world of racing.
Yeah, I love this track. I think it's going to be a very, very cool race, and it's, as you say, a challenge. It's going to be very challenging for the drivers. One of the biggest challenges will be pit lane, which is something we haven't spoken about a huge amount as a challenge throughout this series, but we zoom on in. One of the most iconic tracks in the whole of North America, one of my favorites in North America. This is such a cool track, unchanged pretty much since its inception in the late 50s, one of the first purpose-built race circuits in America on the road side of things. It's an iconic place, and it's going to provide some brilliant racing. The tyres will be screaming for mercy through the carousel, and then the long run to Canada Corner. The long front straight is probably the best passing opportunity. 2 DRS zones. That run from turn 11 to turn 12 is a DRS zone, as is the front straight as well.
So there are opportunities aplenty here today to find overtaking, especially with the DRS, the drag reduction system that these drivers will have. Nothing of a traditional hairpin overtaking opportunity, but there are still places where passes can be made, and we are expecting as such with the work that will go through with all of these drivers. It is also one of the longest laps that we will see on the calendar this season, hence the 47 lap distance counter that they will have to navigate here today. So the laps will feel a little bit short, but we'll still have great racing nevertheless. Let's talk championships though, because it is starting to open up. This is your SimSpeed Championship. We were unable to bring you coverage last time out last week, but we've transformed and found that the championship is Jacob Reed pretty much in the palm of his hand. He has now extended his lead out to over a race wins distance. It's a guarantee that he will leave Elkhart Lake tonight as the championship leader, but by how much is the question, with Marcel Fassbender, Jordan Gronkowski and Anthony Catt all sniffing around looking for an opportunity.
It's still pretty tight in that secondary group, isn't it? It's still 4 drivers that are in contention, and we've seen that Jacob Reed's been able to get to the front very quickly, but that can change as quickly as well. We can see one of those drivers have a good couple of weeks. I say Anthony Catt's been one of the most consistent throughout the series, and that shows when we get to the iRacing Championship. He's currently sitting there nicely in second place. Drop rounds start to come into effect within this championship though, as we now hit 4 rounds to go. That will mean that this championship fight in the iRacing Championship will close up even closer between our top 5.
And in terms of non-finishes in the championships, Marcel Fassbender has got 2 and an on-start, make that 3, technically 4 with VIR, but that's a 10th place finish. Look at Anthony Catt. He's only got 2 drops, essentially, over the course of his season, so a very big difference that comes along through. Jacob Reed, expect him to climb massively up. He's probably the best candidate for 3rd overall in the championship if his form continues in the rich vein that he has got over at this point. That's our distance here tonight. 47 laps, 306 kilometers. Minimum of 2 tyre compounds have to be used. And of course, the drag reduction system is active after the start of lap 3 of racing action as an aid to help overtaking. That's what the tyres are going to be looking like here today. The softs, brutal in terms of their usage. Mediums and hards, probably going to be what wins the race here today, especially with that pit time delta loss of 34 to 35 seconds. But let's take a look at the starting grid, because everybody has made an effort here to try and get themselves up as far as they possibly can. And it is Marcel Fassbender, de Marcel, on the pole, will have the championship leader of the SimSpeed Championship alongside the company in Jacob Reed. It then follows Anthony Catt and Connor Pooler 3rd and 4th, with Jordan Gronkowski in 5th, and a great qualifying by Balazs Gallia, who starts from 6th position. On row 4, it's George van Rensburg with a great qualifying from the South African. Walter Lux will be his compadre in 8th position. 9th will belong to Klaus Siemetz, and he'll have the ever-volatile Kent Nielsen for company in 10th. In 11th is Tobias Saal. Thomas Knoll will be his best friend in the 12th position, 1.45 seconds off of the pace, with Florian Kameyer and Paul O'Regan 13th and 14th respectively. 15th is Jason Green. He has made every race so far this season, with Adam Barta in his outs or inside, I would say, at this point, heading towards turn number 1. Etienne Desclous will start then from 17th alongside Adam McDonald from Club New England. You then have Ray Griffioen and Kelly Decker, the last 2 drivers to set a time. The one driver who didn't was Vicente Garcia Parra, who will go from the back of the field in 21st place. There is Barney the Flagman welcoming all of the race fans. It is a nice, cool day, 27 degrees on the track in midday conditions. It will only get colder from here. Watch out for cold tires here in the north of the United States. Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin has been a place where it can so easily go wrong, and watch how narrow it is off of the start. One driver wheel spins, everybody is going to be in a world of trouble. Let's get ourselves, though, situated, because Road America is the time, is the place, is the now. 4 rounds left in the season, green flag in the air, and we are underway, and it is a very slow start there in the middle from about mid-position from Balazs Gallia, who drops like a stone through the field. The charge already perfect from Jacob Reed, who's got himself clear and around here through turn 1 as they rush towards turn 3.
Great start from Jacob Reed, and Marcel Fassbender didn't quite get the launch away. Also, great start from Walter Lux in the middle as well, but made it through the first couple of corners unscathed, which is great to see. Side-by-side action in the mid-pack, but the front has settled in a single file pretty quickly.
One driver is down at the back is Ray Griffioen. He started from pit lane. Here for this, what a big wiggle there with a bit of contact going through. That's Walter Lux. Found himself on the wrong side there. Balazs Gallia trying to go up the hill under the Corvette bridge and attack. Now, tyre choice is interesting here. Catt and Gronkowski have both gone for the soft tyre.
Yeah, and was looking at the racing from earlier in the fixed series, and Anthony Catt won that race with a soft, medium, soft strategy. That's probably not the preferred strategy for one reason and one reason only. The length of the pit lane negates any time advantage with the soft tyre. So you're going to see either a hard soft or a hard medium, the likely strategy for almost everyone. One stop, 2 stop is the alternate. Gronkowski and Anthony Catt, as per usual, trying something different from everyone else, and you can tell straight away they're trying a 2-stop strategy starting on these softs.
And we know that Jordan Gronkowski loves starting on the soft tyre. He's had so much success this season. Getting that all sorted was not available last time out, so scored 0 points in the SimSpeed Championship. He's got work to do to chase back both Fassbender and Catt in terms of championship points, but your top 4 in the championship are as they are. Brilliant graphic there we just saw on the bottom of your screen there. The gears and how they quickly have to shift through and the revs that they have to put alongside with it. Little search behind then as there are the medium compound tyres of Connor Pooler there sat in 5th position. He'll want to get through. There's also the hard compound runner, George van Rensburg, having a great start.
Yeah, it's good to see that we've got top 6 all have different compounds, isn't it? It's cool to see that the tyre strategy choice. I actually got a message from Walter Lux, who's currently in 8th position. He said that the strategies were very, very open, that he wasn't even going to decide his strategy until he was about 5 or 6 laps into the race. That's why he started on the mediums, to open up multiple strategy options. It's probably going to come down to where he is in traffic, where he will rejoin when he comes into the pits, and how he's feeling in regards to track temperature as to what the strategy will be. So it's a surprising race that we've got so many strategy options. Great to see that we've lasted 2.5 laps as well, and we're still clean. We have had an incident that Kelly Decker has had to come in and fix a new front wing on their car, but back out and away, which is good to see.
Ideal for Kelly, who was very surprised to be 3 seconds off the pace in qualifying and was not very happy about it. That incident happened through into turn 5 on the back of the opening lap, ran into the back of Etienne Desclous. So Desclous took the tap, and that wasn't ideal. There is George van Rensburg as the fastest lap check mark is sat with Jacob Reed, which is an extra championship point in the SimSpeed Championship if you can finish inside the top 10. But George van Rensburg now will need a little bit of a gap because Balazs Galliard and Walter Lux will want to try and get through as quickly as possible.
And of course, the big difference too is the different tyre, as you said, the hard tyre for van Rensburg. The next hard tyre runner is Tobias Sale. You can tell the difference in the tyres on the graphic, red being soft, yellow being medium, and white wall tyres being the hard. And as we said in the pre-race, must use 2 tyre compounds. I think that's probably the best and toughest decision that everyone has to make in this race. Well, that's not good.
Oh, that's not good. That's Adam Barta in trouble there and dropping like a stone down the field. The 17 car has looped it out of the exit of 5 and into the barriers. Here in the SimSpeed replay, and it just shows how easily, look how it snaps on him. That's just putting the power down too much. Thunderfoot on the right.
And probably the differing texture in surface underneath with the concrete and the ripper strip and the tarmac hitting both at the same time can unsettle the tyre as well, especially after it's been under load. So he'll escape back to the pits, and that's day done. Unfortunate with such a long race, you don't want to be done early in these ones because it's such a long time to wait to get back and have another race. First lap now with DRS. I got my DRS zones mixed up before. It's not the front straight, it's the middle straight. The exit at turn 3 here is where the first DRS zone is. So DRS now active in this segment right here. They're about to cross over the DRS zone. And wings open, there they go. And we see Connor Pooler here start closing that gap down to the gap.
Now the key to not having DRS in the front stretch, Jay, and this will be a very good point of question as it goes on forward, is that massive rise up the hill. You get that sense that these cars, when you open that rear flap, they lose all of that rear grip and the car gets very slippery, so it would be very easy to unsettle the car were there DRS on that stretch. As we look at Marcel Fassbender, just 6/10 behind Jacob Reed, which has been a story seldom seen over the last 3 months.
Usually these races have played out where the leader has broken away a huge margin in the first 4 or 5 laps, and we haven't seen anything until late in the race after the strategies come together. But front 2 using the same strategy with very even pace. Remember, Fassbender started this race on pole but didn't get off the line as well as Jacob Reed. So this is going to be a very interesting battle. This is the closest we've seen for a lead in a long while at the start of a race, and Jordan Gronkowski's still in DRS range. Remember, he's on the soft. He'll be hoping to get through, but he might not have the outright pace at this stage, or the soft tyre just doesn't have the extra grip, extra pace that he's hoping.
I think he's got a case of the DRS train troubles, that Marcel Fassbender has the DRS on Jacob Reed, so they're effectively stuck in lockstep at this moment in time. Now you can see the red rain light there flashing on the back of Jacob Reed's machine. No, that doesn't mean that iRacing has implemented rain early. It means that he is harvesting the energy recovery system of his car.
And that'll come in handy later on, and will also come in handy for him to defend this position as well. I'm saying that there's some situations where you don't want to defend the position, you're happy to give it up, but at this point, definitely want to defend that position and try and work out if you can get some margin. But this is really close battle now. The top 5 separated by 3 seconds. That's unheard of in this.
I tell you what, it's showing that everyone has got very interesting pace here today, that they have the ability to go out there and challenge for a race victory, something we haven't seen so often in this series. We have seen races at points where the winner has won by a lap. Now, here's SimSpeed replay. I believe this is Lux making the pass then on Balazs Galliard for position down the inside at the Marine Suite through turn 5 and getting that one done up the hill, a comfortable pass.
Beautiful move, and we're going to see that one a lot. That's a classic move. And just as we say that, Galliard's just gone back and got the move back past Walter Lux on the run up to Canada corner. So, yeah, it was good to show the replay of the first pass. We'll see if we can get the replay of the second.
Yeah, that's just a case of what the drag reduction system will do over the course of this race. You will see overtakes back and forth, back and forth. Using the slipstream ban. DRS. That pass, and he actually kicks up onto the grass like Ryan Hunter-Ray, making that one very nicely situated as a move. Now, as close as Marcel Fassbender has been so far over the course of this race, now is his first chance to really look at a pass, but he decides against it. Marcel Fassbender is going to wait with the championship leader Jacob Reed, because Marcel Fassbender, easily enough, is also a championship leader.
Of course, the 2 different championships. The one that we made up, I think, is the most fun one, and then the real one.
Galliard.
Yeah, so what's happened there?
He's in the fence and he is out, and that is right after turn 5, and that is a heftily frustrating race. He just ran a little bit wide, and then as he tried to pull power back, you can see it right now, he's off the line. He tries to get back on the surface, he gets a little bit of an influx of grip, and he puts it in the fence.
That's a real disappointing one, and again, that someone else having trouble with the 2 driving tyres, the 2 rear tyres, having different surface grips underneath them at the same time. One on the concrete, one on the tarmac, lighting the rears up. I wonder if that could be an issue that we might see a few more drivers come into later on. Top 3 now, less than a second separating all of them.
I mean, you consider you've got 3 straights out here today, Jay. Would you also argue the case that these drivers are running an incredibly trimmed out set?
100%. Well, I was actually going to see if we could get a bit of a shot on the different aero package that some of the drivers are driving with, because we know that does happen a lot in the series. Different drivers running the different aero, so we'll get a look here in a sec, and we'll just watch this potential overtake. Fassbender around the outside. Oh my goodness!
Oh, he's locked it. He's locked it up though, and Jacob Reed will just scamper on back through on the inside. Fassbender takes a little bit of grass up the hill and is just about able to hold it in line. So eyes bigger than the belly. First shots fired. Jacob Reed is going to come out then the victor of that. Walter Lux finding himself in a little bit of disarray at this moment in time, because that is Ken Nielsen trying to find his way through up into 7th place.
And Nielsen was through, but had to give the spot back. But this is a good 5-car battle as well. So we've got 2 5-car battles going on. One for the lead. George Van Rensburg's in no man's land all by himself. And then we've got another 5. Actually, let's make that a 6-car battle, because it goes back to Klaus Siemens, who isn't far behind either. So this is great to see so many cars so close. We don't see this in this series ever.
No, we don't see it often, but we do see amazing racing happen, and I think that is the key, as there's a little search there at Canada corner trying to find his pass, but Ken Nielsen had his own compatriots corner, couldn't quite make it manifest. But here is where Marcel Fassbender looks to try and attack. Marcel on the straight is harvesting the energy, so he doesn't want to make the move into 1. He was not close enough. There you can see the bevel on the wing. It is pancake flat for the top 2.
Have a look at the difference here. You can see it very clearly. Anthony Cat on the bottom of your screen. He's running that low downforce setting and medium downforce for almost everyone else in the field. So you'll see the difference in the shape of the rear wing. Very, very evident. So cool difference, but big difference around the outside. No, gonna do it.
This time he does. He locks it up again, but was able to get that one sorted. So Marcel Fassbender, it took him 7.5 or 8 and a little bit laps to make that pass, but he does manage it here on this 8th lap. And that one had to be worked for. Again covered on the inside by Jacob Reed, but around the outside, Marcel Fassbender was not going to take no for an answer.
Interesting that he's still locked up a little bit there too, but was able to control it a lot more than he had on that previous attempt. Did a very, very nice job of getting that move done. Have a look at the gap he's already pulled. So has he been saving something, waiting for that opportunity? Now already pulled 3/4 of a second. Close it back up a little under DRS, but Jacob Reed can stay within DRS. He's not out of this, but I feel like Fassbender might run away with this now.
Well, Marcel Fassbender has been due for a victory for a little while in terms of our Friday's broadcast. He has not won in terms of a race since Montreal. It has been a very long and barren stage where he's had 4 podiums but has been unable to convert into a race victory since that middling round of the season. It is going to be a tall order for him to try and run away, especially with the talent that is there behind, but they continue on through and continue to search for places out there. It is now Jordan Gronkowski's turn, and he is right up underneath, looking for his chance to move up into second position on the soft tyre. Does he have the look through the moraine sweep into 5? He thinks better.
Close enough though, isn't he? Just enough to apply pressure, and what this will do is will mean Jacob Reed now has to make a decision. Does he try and attack and keep the gap down to Marcel Fassbender, or does he work hard on the defence to Jordan Gronkowski? Of course, both leave him susceptible to the overtake, but if he defends too aggressively, he's going to lose ground to Fassbender and not be able to catch him. If he tries too hard to keep up with Fassbender, he'll leave himself open to an overtake from Gronkowski. He's really stuck in a no man's land, a position he doesn't want to be in, and just with that potential look at an overtake, look straight away, no DRS now for Jacob Reed. He's already out of the 1 second bracket.
Yeah, and that's big, because Marcel Fassbender now has a license to get away. Jordan Gronkowski has been given the license to attack, and I wonder if Jacob Reed here has got a car that is built to be out in front and not built, so to speak, to deal with the dirty air and the turbulences in racing. He has not finished outside of the top 2, has Jacob Reed, since Sebring. He's had a non-finish at Imola, but we'll not count that. But out and out finishing Sebring. George Van Rensburg in trouble.
Not the direction you expect to see him. He'll struggle to get that back on the circuit without causing issues. He's done well. What has happened there to Van Rensburg? He was looking so good, so strong. And sometimes the issue with being in no man's land, you can have a slight lapse in concentration, and I feel like that's what's happened here. Is live pitches, Gronkowski has got that move done on Jacob Reed. Around goes Van Rensburg. Again, issues with the 2 different textures of surface.
Yeah, a little bit too aggressive, and there is the aggressive jink over to the left-hand side, right-hand side of screen. Down the inside, Jordan Gronkowski not taking no for an answer. He comfortably made that pass, and he made sure of it, that he was going to move on forward. His chase now, Marcel Fassbender, and an important chase at that, too, in terms of the context of what Gronk wants to do with his season so late on, as he now charges forward. You notice, though, that the drivers on the soft tyres, they've still had the ability to run that similar pace to those on the mediums, and I think that's a crucial matter of fact that we're going to find. Yes, they'll have to come in earlier than those on the mediums, but they have been very similar on pace, and I don't think that even now here at lap 10 towards lap 11, they are out of the realms of possibility of still fighting for this race victory on a one-stop switch to the hard.
I think you're right there. I think the fact that they hadn't been able to clear away as quick as they may have anticipated may mean that they've got extra tyre life left in the tyre. So sure, we know that they're not designed to last long, maybe 12 to 15, 17 laps. But if you're not working them hard, you can get extra life out of them. So the fact that Gronkowski hasn't broken away at the front and punched in purple lap after purple lap means that you will have some tyre left and can run that tyre maybe 5 laps longer. So if you can get it to say 22, even 18 to 22, anywhere in that bracket, if you can get there with these tyres, go to the hard, finds himself still in a really, really good position. Yeah, he could probably nearly go to a medium.
Yeah, that could certainly be key. They're switching about though, 6th and 7th. As once again, Ken Nielsen was aggressive on the brakes, but was unable to get past Walter Lux, who let him have the inside and basically robbed his pocket straight back on the exit of the corner. Some very great heads-up driving by the Austrian, and that will bring a very cautious Tobias Saal and also Florian Kammeier into the mix.
Yeah, very, very intelligent. Saw that Nielsen was in way too hot. Left himself a bit of room, slowed himself up in the corner a lot better, squared it off, got to the inside and made the move straight back through. And it's already broken a little bit of a margin back because of that lock-up for Kent Nielsen. Saying that, not quite close enough is Nielsen to come back. Saal and Kammeier still not close enough to get a move done either. It's hard to know where to watch. We never have this issue of knowing which battle to watch, because usually we're only seeing maybe 2 or 3 2-car battles. We've got 2 5-car battles at the front, and we never see that in this series. This is so good. We race this track nearly every week.
I'm sure every GT3 fan of iRacing will love you for saying that. Anyway, we've still got great racing. I would argue now, though, the front is turned into a group of 2 and a group of 3. That gap has extended out over 2 seconds between Gronkowski and Reed. 315, 318 Ks on the clicker before the brakes get hit on the downhill descending braking zone into turn 5. It does make that corner so easy to overshoot.
Yeah, it does. It's a really interesting corner because it also draws you into to go a lot wider than you expect and potentially look at... Kent Nielsen's made the same mistake again and he's going to lose the spot this time. It lures you in to make errors exactly as Kent Nielsen did there. Because it's so wide at the entry, you feel like you can push yourself a little bit deeper and run a little bit wider on entry. Then it sucks you in at exit as well because it is wide and then it narrows up very, very quickly. And you don't have quite as much grip on the extreme outside as you normally would. So he didn't quite nail that one there to Kent Nielsen, lost that spot. Gronkowski though, he's closed that gap right down now. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a move midway through next lap.
Yes, he definitely could find that move. Of course, now Kent Nielsen down into 8th position, but there's the look behind from De Marcel. Marcel Fassbender sees Jordan Gronkowski there, looking for that race-leading move here on lap 12. And at this point, it's not really a case of concern at this moment for Marcel Fassbender whether Jordan Gronkowski takes the lead or not. The track position's fine. The only thing you would say is you'd like track position coming into one of the most difficult to judge pit entries, I think, that racing has.
Yep, really tough pit entry. You can lose a lot of ground or find yourself with a speeding in pit lane penalty very, very easily. Here comes Gronkowski. He's got this done. Nice move.
Yeah. No fight from Marcel Fassbender. He knows to prioritise his race. And Jordan Gronkowski now takes the race lead here on lap 13 of this race. He has maybe been the one driver who has proven that he's got pace to battle with. As there is Tobias Saal moving up on the hard tyres now into 6th position. He's the leading runner on the hard tyres, and he may be just starting to find a little bit of a groove with them.
This is about the point when the soft tyres go away is usually when the hards start to take their effect in regards to their outright pace or best pace. Being about 12 laps what we expected, the best of the tyre of the soft. There's pull through Anthony Catt. Soft's definitely starting to go away with Anthony Catt losing that spot there. So yeah, the hards are probably nearly the best tyre to be on now. Medium's starting to slowly go away, but the softs look like they may be done in regards to their best pace. Gronkowski sure he's got the lead, but he didn't push those softs at all in that first 10 laps.
Well, you'd also argue as well that Anthony Catt isn't necessarily the most fitting driver onto that soft tyre as he goes through, but I'll tell you what, Marcel Fassbender, he's not gone away. at this point, and neither has Anthony Cat, who was able to close right up with Connor Pooler and might have had an opportunity to go out there. They're only 1.4 seconds off of Jacob Reed at this point. And here's a look then with Anthony Cat on this run forward here. The Moraine sweep they slide on through, and now heading towards the braking zone. A little bit of a defense there by Connor Pooler, just covering all of his bases off in the number 7 machine. But that's what we're starting to see here. Drivers are looking at what opportunities they have. Oh, Jacob Reed, championship leader in the wall.
No way. Wow. Jacob Reed was just sitting nicely in third place, watching what was going on. Head between Gronkowski and between Fastbender. And he's just got it a little bit wide. Just dipped over the edge of that curb onto that concrete on the outside. Changing camber, I think, got him there. The tyres did not cooperate. Lucky to get away with that, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him in the pit lane straight away.
Well, the only fortunate thing is he didn't hit that with maybe as much vigour and oomph. He does not have the black and orange mechanical flag. He can still compete in this race, but the question is how much damage now does he have to the rear of his car, and can he get back into a rhythm and find some pace? He falls back into 5th position and is only 3 seconds ahead. In fact, he will dive into the pits now off of his medium tyres. So Jacob Reed will have to come in and make a stop, and the question will be how he bounces back from here.
It'll be tough. Walter Lux also in the pits. He's on a medium tyre, so it's interesting from Lux. He did work very, very hard in regards to that battle we saw before. What? Jesus, pit lane's painful. Looks almost 30 seconds before Jacob Reed even gets to his pit stop. It's such a long time.
It is, and he will change his tyres here. And this is a long hold here for the damage that he's got, and it is going to be as painful can be.
This is huge.
As he will now look like his day is pretty much all but done, as Walter Lux is long gone and away. So a huge free kick in the SimSpeed Championship. Suddenly, for Gronkowski, for Fastbender, for Cat, it's game on.
Wow, this has changed the whole complexion of the series, not just the race. The whole series has changed complexion from that one incident. Jacob Reed is backing away in 18th position on a soft tyre, so he's going to do a couple of stints in the soft. So I guess that's the only thing you can take away now is the fastest lap to get as many points as he can in regards to the iRacing Championship. Try and get as many spots as he can. Doing something different now is the only strategy he has. Interesting too, I've been surprised at how much cloud has been rolling in. It's rolling in very, very quickly, heavy cloud, and then it's blowing away again. So the track temperature will be chopping and changing quite a lot.
It will, but you'd also argue at the same time, we are in Wisconsin. It is traditionally cloudy by comparison. We are not a million miles away from Washington State and the most cloudy and rainy place in the world, as there goes Anthony Cat looking to scrap back here against Connor Pooler. Oh, door firmly shut by Connor Pooler. Cat keeping it out of trouble as he has done all season. He has not been a driver who has found a win this season as Anthony Cat. He has also been a driver that over the course of this season hasn't even found a second place right now and finds himself deep in the championship hunt.
Been so consistent though in getting those thirds, fourths, fifths, hasn't he? He's always in that top 5. Sure, he hasn't had the pointy end positions, but that doesn't matter if you're consistently getting podiums. Anyway, geez, that was close. That was close. He was so close to getting that move done though.
Yeah, well, to be fair to Connor Pooler there, Jay, you would have to say that Anthony Cat was effectively off the racing surface.
Correct. Although iRacing still sees it as the racing surface. If we were in the real world rules, that would be considered off the circuit because the white line dictates the actual edge of the track. I think Cat probably also realised that he wasn't going to be able to pull it up, had to back out a little bit as well. One thing I was going to talk about before we saw that incident for Jacob Reed, watching the top speed for Cat versus the guys ahead, when we were on board with Was it Gronkowski earlier? It was 217, 218 into turn 5. Anthony Cat hitting almost 330, so it's about 15 k's an hour faster with that low downforce package. So he's got a lot more pace down that straight. Does lose a little bit in the corners, but he gains it all back in the straights. Surprised there aren't more drivers on that setup, because this track, as you said before, no hairpins here, lots of sweeping corners and lots of straights.
There's a lot of opportunities then to go out there and get what you want out of the racing, and sometimes that high or that lower downforce setup is a lot more beneficial out there in terms of how you go and generate for a race like this. There has been some changes in the field for him. Kamai now has dropped the place to Thomas Knoll, so there is the change then for 7th and for 8th places at this moment. Work to be done at this point, so they're looking to go through. And then for one championship point, two drivers who have been the epitome of I will race for one championship point all season long, Paul O'Regan and Jason Green.
They'll just race for anything. They'll race for a coin flip. They'll race for anything. They've been so fun to watch throughout the season as well. They'll push on hard. They'll fight for 20th and provide lots of entertainment and value their positions as much as anyone else in this field. So great to see that we've got guys battling the whole way through. Just saw Ray Griffio, and he's just got the move done down at Canada Corner, but I just saw his top speed flash up 334 kilometers an hour as he just passed Adam McDonald on the brakes at Canada.
Light speed. He's got a light speed boost button. There's no other way to describe it. The way that he is driving. Ray Griffioen has got all the pace in the world, and this is an indication of how quick he is. Look how quick!
Had to go to the grass to get it done, and yeah, 334. That's awesome.
Well, some drivers have a formula for it, and they have got that. Gronkowski, though, starting to fall back here on that soft tyre, but he's done really well on it at the moment. 18 laps in field, anywhere between 20 and 22. Opens up the window for that medium tyre, and it will be a struggle towards the end of the race, but he's done a great job, and it's keeping Marcel Fassbender just about an arm's width away, like it's a South Africa versus New Zealand Rugby World Cup final.
One thing it's done is it's meant that Fassbender is now questioning his strategy choice, because we know that if Gronkowski can go to a medium, Fassbender probably can't go to a soft, so he's going to have to go to a hard, remembering that he has to go to a different tyre compound. So it's really going to make Fassbender scratch his head, and puts Gronkowski in a great position if he can go to the medium. Even if he's going to struggle for 2 laps at the end of the stint, he still finds himself in a much better position than Fassbender, considering the gap that they've got between them.
Well, the key here for Marcel Fassbender is, can he extend that medium tyre out to about lap 27, I would say, at this point, and that'll make it a little bit easier for him on the soft tyres, because of course with less fuel in the car, there's less scrubbing of that tyre.
Yeah, but the other part of that is he's going to have to push harder than what Gronkowski did in that first stint, isn't he? He's going to have to push hard to try and gain that time up as fast as he can, because he won't really know what pace he's got. This is a really interesting dynamic that there's going to be between these two drivers. They're going to be apart for maybe 8 to 10 laps, but when they come back together, I don't know who's going to be the favourite for the race. This is such a fascinating battle, and I'm so glad that they're on alternate strategies. If they're on the same strategy, it'd be fun to watch, but the fact that they're on differing strategies just makes it even more interesting, more dynamic, more fantastic to watch. Just seen something happen. Our Seamit's on the timing too, but yeah, I'm intrigued by this battle at the front.
Yeah, he's run off the road, I think, over the top of the hill at the Corvette corner, and I think that is not an easy corner by any stretch of the imagination, but it was just the easy case of out-braking yourself here, because it's uphill. You think you've got an uphill braking zone. What you don't realise here, Jay, when you get into this section, it's a plateau. Yeah,
it is, and you find yourself very, very quickly losing all of your braking performance as you get over that rise. And the other part of that too is it's very deceptive, because you can't see your apex as you Thomas Knoll comes in now. As you get up over the hill, you go to turn the car in, but you've got to turn the car in before you can even see the apex when you're going so fast and so low in the car. So it is a very, very difficult segment of the track. Siemens has got himself going again and still ahead of Jason Green. Slots himself into that battle that we were talking about before between two guys that love to fight, Reagan and Green, and George van Rensburg's starting to close back in on these guys as well.
Yeah, he's doing well. Walter Lux, by the way, is absolutely flown by Thomas Knoll in the stop, out and away without too much worry. I'm going to say this right now. Jacob Reed can still get points today.
I'm a little surprised though he hasn't reset a new fastest lap of the race since he went back out there on the soft tyre. So set the fastest lap of the race very early on that medium. Now hasn't set it again since it's gone to the soft. So maybe there is a little bit of damage to that car that couldn't get repaired in the pit stop. See once this next phase of pit stop for our leaders comes through. Happens with that fastest lap as Gronkowski finishes lap 20, starts lap 21. Yeah. Just under a second.
Tell you what, he is right in the wheelhouse here today, is Jordan Gronkowski. He is right in the wheelhouse to gain some mega points, knowing that Marcel Fassbender will want to as well. Tobias Saul on the hard is in. That's a huge call.
He is not finding the performance as good as he would have liked and is now realising, hey, I've got to get to the medium as quick as I can, or this is the point that he knows that the medium will work all the way to the end. And didn't feel safe in making the soft work for 21 laps. No doubt he'll go to the medium here. Here he comes. He's gone to the soft. I'm confused.
It's a two-stop.
Has
It's
to
a
be.
two-stop for Tobias Saul. And going to a soft now is aggressive. Here's a SimSpeed replay, though, and that's not where you want to be going off the road. And that opens up the door on the inside. Thank you very much. It's an easy pass through the carousel.
Yep, Walter Lux through on Adam McDonald there. And McDonald, the tiny error was enough for Walter Lux to say, thank you, I'll take that spot. This is closed up again.
It has. Surely Jordan Gronkowski now is getting the message that he's going to need to dive down into the pits, that the tyres are not playing ball with him anymore here on lap 21. He will stay out another lap, but I think Marcel Fassbender is going to be right up upon him and looking for that overtake. And the key's going to be here for Marcel Fassbender that he'll have a better pace tyre when he comes into the stop, knowing that he is there. Every lap he can stay with Jordan Gronkowski, a lap more of advantage he will have.
Yep. And Anthony Catt on his soft tyres has decided now's the time to pit. So the end of lap 21, start of lap 22. Anthony Catt's made his tyres last and he'll probably go to the medium. He's one of the best in regards to tyre performance throughout the field. So the fact that he's come in now and Gronkowski stayed out surprises me a tiny little bit. In the same breath, Gronkowski was very cautious with his tyres in that first 5-6 laps. So in that aspect, it's no huge surprise. Anthony Catt out on a medium, and we probably both agree that he will make it home on that tyre.
It'll be a one-stop. He's just ahead of Walter Lux, so Lux has done really well on those soft tyres here to pull himself into range of these drivers. We do expect him to dive down once more into the pits on an aggressive two-stop strategy, but to be right with those drivers already, he's doing well. There's some great scrapping going on down there at the bottom of the hill. George van Rensburg and Klaus Siemet scrapping and changing.
This is a recovery for Van Rensburg. Remember, he had that issue at the final corner about 10 laps in. He was sitting all by himself in 6th position. He's now back up into 8th, yet to make his stop. Gronkowski stays out again. That's 22 laps on the stint. Definitely going for a one-stop now is Gronkowski, but what does Fassbender do? When does he come in? How many laps does he let Gronkowski stay out there on the fresh tyres for?
Well, how many laps does Marcel Fassbender want on the soft tyre? How much usable life does he want, and how much does he want to attack on that set? That's going to be the real question that he'll be asking at this moment in time, knowing that he is still over half of the race away through the Moraine Suite now and heading towards turn 5. He doesn't want to make that move. He's very happy sitting. He's very happy waiting, conserving, and also that's another thing, conserving the fuel. He can then burn the fuel a little bit more later on in the race if he is lifting off and doesn't have to make that overtake.
Just checking as well, just been said before, Walter Luck sent me a whole heap of stuff. I actually never sent you this, Spiro. I should have sent it to you. Sent me a graph of the actual pace of the tyres as the stint goes on. Round about lap that on his about 20 is the cutoff where the medium and the soft will interchange in regards to pace. So where are we at? 23. So we're well and truly past that window where the soft tyre has lost its pace over the medium. Why Sal around?
Yeah, you know, almost 3 wide there. Luxar and Ray Griffioen, who is yet to make a stop. That, for Tobias Sal, is a costly little mistake.
Saw as well. Leaders stay out. Go one more lap. Don't know if it's going to pay off for Gronkowski. It's Connor Pooler comes in. Here's the 3 wide. Talking about side by side. Oh, just locked the brake. He found there was no room to go and had to lock it up.
Yeah, decided had to get on the binders and get out of the way. With Connor Pooler now in the pit, question's going to be where he comes out in regards to Anthony Catt, who is currently in 10th position, leader of all those who have come into the pit so far at this stage. This is a crucial run that they have at this point, and for Connor Pooler, who is now out and away again, he's on the soft tyre from now. You would expect maybe to the end he will come out just behind Klaus Siemet, so he has got the overcut done on Anthony Catt.
He has. That's great from Pooler. Remember too, he's on the soft tyre. He'll have more pace for now. Will he be able to make that soft tyre last half the race? That is the real question. My thinking is, well, the fact that Gronkowski's still going, probably can. But can he do it with pace is the question. I can't believe Gronkowski's still going at the end of lap 24.
Griffioen and Declue also are down into the pit, so every single second matters in the long way like this. In comes Jordan Gronkowski on what is one of the toughest pit entries out there, and he's very, very cautious with the commitment cone in yellow as he now makes his stop. De Marcel now will take the race lead.
Yep, and he has to put in some of the fastest laps he's done all race long in these next, say, 5 laps. If you can do that and put in a great stint, you may be able to get this overcut working. But Gronkowski will be hoping that when he comes out on his medium tyres with them being fresher, able to get the undercut. Of course, it doesn't matter a huge amount if Fassbender does rejoin behind because he will have the faster tyre. Surprised to see Gronkowski on the mediums.
And crucially, just ahead of Florian Kamai, got himself into a nice little space where he can go and get those tyres up to temperature and attack. It's a long way away, and effectively the way that everyone's pitted, he's actually come back out in 2nd position, so he's hardly lost anything over the course of his stint.
He's done a really good job in getting the track position, hasn't he? Timed it perfectly and where he's rejoined the track. In regards to where he can slot into a gap with no cars around him. Sal sets the fastest lap of the race.
No point there, though, at this moment. He needs to get inside the top 10. He's currently 12th.
Yep, not yet with regards to the SimSpeed Championship points. This has been a great battle between these two on screen, though, isn't it? It was for 9th and 10th before. It's now for 4th and 5th. These guys are yet to pit, both on the hard tyre, as well as George Van Rensburg behind, who is slowly closing in on them. He's about to lose a spot to Connor Pooler, who will come through on his fresher soft tyres.
So, who is going to find those paces and who's going to put whoever else through their paces? Marcel Fassbender happy to keep going here with 22 laps to go here around this Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin track known as Road America. If you've just jumped in with us, it's been a crazy start to this race. There's been a lot of different strategy choices, but one stop seems to be the way. But your SimSpeed Championship leader, Jacob Reed, found the barriers in the early phase of the race. He's back in 15th position, trying to salvage what he can.
Yep, he's just trying to get himself up to get a point. trying is the key word in that, though, because he's still got a lot of work to do. He's still got to gain 5 positions. He's on older tyres in a slightly damaged car. It's all against him at the moment, but if anyone in this series can get himself back up there, it is this man, Jacob Reed. He has been phenomenal the second half of this championship season, and neither of us will be surprised if he finds himself in the 7th or 8th by the end, but we think that he should be able to get to 10th. Will he be able to get any higher than that is a big question mark.
Probably have to stop once more as well.
Yeah, he will.
You consider right now that 10th position is Walter Lux, who sits about 16 seconds down the road plus, at this moment, 20 seconds even down the road, and he's still got to make a stop on someone who's got the same strategy. So 20 seconds to chase and 22 laps. You're needing qualifying mode just to find a championship point in the SimSpeed Championship. There is Tobias Saab, by the way, who's setting fastest lap after fastest lap, but not finding the pass on Ken Nielsen.
It's close enough to get the move done that lap there. The turn 5, but wasn't quite able to do so. Remember that Kent Nielsen, he and Anthony Catt both are usual runners of that low downforce package, so I mean that they've got a little bit of extra straight line speed, and we've seen at other circuits. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're faster, it just means that they're more difficult to overtake because they've got more top speed at the braking zone, so they're not able to be overtaken. So, Paula now sets the fastest lap of the race, and don't be surprised if that fastest lap counter comes down even further when we get into the next phase of pit stops, or the final round of pit stops with some drivers still yet to come in.
Yeah, of course, that final round of pit stops, we'll see most drivers jumping onto a soft from here and getting to the end of that race. Pula, though, still has Paul O'Regan, who could make the move back on him here through the Moraine sweep and trying to take that move back and jump another place, but decides against it, can't quite get close enough. Connor Pula's 34.8, 3 seconds a lap quicker than Paul O'Regan on that last run through, and Jordan Gronkowski, by comparison, 35.4 that last lap. The comparison to Marcel Fassbender, who has just dived in, 36.3. Fassbender at the end of his tethers on the mediums, he now pits for what should be soft.
This will be a soft tyre for him, and he'll have to get 20 laps out of them as he crosses the line. It will tick down to 20 to go. There's still 21 to go. No, there we go. Right on cue. I was second guessing myself there for a second. Where will the rejoin happen? Still not quite in his pit box. Fassbender down the Gronkowski down the front straight. He will get clear. What will the gap be between them?
I reckon
3 seconds?
about 4 seconds. Gronkowski away as there is Marcel Fassbender leaving the pit and getting himself up to speed. So the moment he traverses himself through turn 1, this is technically turn 2 that they go through, and turn 3, 3.2. Oh, we'll cut the difference, Jay.
Yep. Pretty close between us. We're both right. How's that sound? Or we're both wrong. One of the two.
Take your fancy.
Yeah, Fassbender should be able to close that down with the slightly more aggressive tyre, the faster tyre, but the other side of that is that he doesn't want to push it too hard, because I've seen other drivers in the field not be able to get to 20 laps on these softs. We were hearing about 18 was the tyre life of these tyres, but he's going to try for 20. So, of course, you can get a little bit more tyre out of the performance out of the tyre, speaking words. Bit of performance out of the tyre later in the race because you've got less fuel in the car, so there's less weight tyre is having to work around. So that might be the difference between the 18 to 20 laps we're going to see now. And what was the gap you said at the start of the lap? 3.2? It's now down under 2 seconds in half a lap.
Marcel Fassbender knows that if he makes the move and gets past Jordan Gronkowski in the SimSpeed Championship, what was an almost unassailable margin we were thinking coming into tonight is down, Jay, to 9 points.
And with 3 rounds to go, 9 points is the difference between second and a... That's not working, brain not working. Second and a fifth?
There or thereabouts, or what you could say is that it's 7 points between first and second, so it really pretty much says game on in terms of how everyone's
100%.
racing, as in comes Paul O'Regan now to make his one and only stop with Klaus Siemens.
So Siemens and O'Regan decide their tyres have done enough laps, 28, 29 odd laps. So Florian Kammeyer, Jason Green and George van Rensburg, the only drivers left to make a pit stop. This gap for the lead is on.
It is. This driver, Massa Fassbender, is looking for a way past Jordan Gronkowski to take the race lead away in the iRacing Grand Prix Tour here from Road America. When you consider the final 3 races in the rundown of the season, how important is making this pass now, knowing it's into Lagos next week, followed by Detroit Belle Isle, followed by Indianapolis to decide a winner.
Well, that second last round, I think, is the wild card within the group that's left, isn't it? That nobody knows what to expect. And we know from street circuits in the past and in every series that Belle Isle and Long Beach are your 2 big question marks. You've got to have a lot of luck on your side to perform well there. So getting every point you can now is ultra important. Fassbender's not even going to wait for DRS.
He's not. Marcel Fassbender to the inside at turn 1, makes the move on Jordan Gronkowski and takes the race lead away, and an extra bonus point for the fastest lap, which now means that championship gap is 8 at this moment in time. As more dive in, Walter Lux comes in for his final stop, so too Florian Kammeyer.
Only 2 left to pit now, and we've just had a... Oh, here he comes.
Oh, here he comes back! He's locked it up though, and here comes the charge up the hill from one Mr. Marcel Fassbender. Does finally put the rubber stamp on the move. Gronkowski through the kitchen sink.
Yeah, and one thing that Gronkowski's done there though, it's meant that Fassbender's had to use his tyre. He's had to work hard to keep the spot, had to work hard to get the position back there after Gronkowski got himself ahead. How does that play out in Gronkowski's favour? Well, that may be a lap difference that Fassbender's taken off the tyres. Is he going to have enough tyre left at the end of the race to hold on? Sure, Fassbender will drive away now for a little bit. Don't be surprised if Gronkowski closes that gap back down right at the end of the race. This is not over.
No, not by any stretch of the imagination, but that gap now ticks over a second there through Canada corner, and that is very much a telling sign that Jordan Gronkowski, I'm not sure, has enough at this phase of the race. So here's another little look here on the SimSpeed replay. So this is, oh, that's a heavy hit. That is a massive smash.
That is race ending. But Kelly Decker hits and race over. So unfortunate. I was upset with the pace difference between them and the leaders at the start of the race, but I don't think it matters now when you don't have the front wheels attached.
Jordan Gronkowski is tiptoeing. He is. I don't think he's comfortable on that medium set.
I agree. I think he's just working it. I don't think his intention was to use the medium. I think he was originally going to go soft, hard, soft, which is what I'd heard from a couple of drivers was their preferred strategy. Some drivers saying that the mathematical faster strategy was a hard soft. So the medium may not have been the tyre of choice for Gronkowski. Remember we saw the hard actually performing very, very well in the early phase of the race too. Remember we saw hard runners within the top 6 at the start. So maybe the medium tyre is just not the tyre for Gronkowski this round. He's now 2.4 seconds back after only a lap of being overtaken.
Marcel Fassbender is pulling away, and there's nothing there. Oh, that's smoke. That's a lot of smoke. That is a damaged car in all of its sense, and it's Etienne Declue.
That's not how a Mercedes F13 is supposed to look.
Oh, Mercedes W13.
Yes, that's
absolutely not like that. So here is a look on the brakes, Canada corner. Is it a carbon? Oh, it's an absolute carbon copy of what happened there to Kelly Decker.
It's 3 parts down at that corner. If you're a marshal, you'll be able to collect yourself some mementos of the race. George van Rensburg holding off Kent Nielsen and Tobias Saal. Van Rensburg still yet to pit those hard tyres.
going to get close off the exit and down the hill into turn 3. He's just going to be left a bystander then and sees two very, very fast drivers go by in Nielsen and Saul. George van Rensburg here is holding himself out to, I think, a number he feels comfortable on. But, you know, this is the sort of iRacing official series, like every other. You can't hang out and wait for a caution. It's never going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to have to come in at some point. Remembering, though, we said at the start of the race, come back to it again and again and again, 18 laps was about the maximum that these softs could go. But we're hearing between 13 and 18, 14 and 18 was about the real limit. Maybe that's what Van Rensburg worked out for himself as well. He's thought, yeah, 18 is the maximum end. Maybe only want 15 on those softs. I think we're coming in this lap.
Maybe he just wants to be aggressive on the tyres, and I think that might be the key to this race. There are other keys out there to talk championship-wise. What a lap that has just come in from Marcel Fassbender. 33.8. He is checking out, and nobody is going to stop him. 2 seconds quicker than Gronkowski over that last lap. And Gronkowski's got his eyes firmly behind him. Connor Pooler wasn't able to really chase that much on that last lap, 3/10. As in finally comes Jason Green.
Yep, Green in, Van Rensburg in. Everyone is now pitted, except for... Oh, everyone has pitted. Just wasn't sure on Ray Griffithon because he did start from the pit lane, but he has made his pit stop. I mean, it was confusing me a little there, but he's in.
Would you argue Jacob Reed hasn't come in for his second stop yet?
Well, yes, you're right. Jacob Reed still has to come in and make another stop, and maybe Garcia Parra might have to come in and make one more as well.
That's also very much the case. Jacob Reed, if he could somehow miracle those tyres, Jay, to the end of this race, another 15 laps on that set of softs. It will be one of the great drives I've ever seen.
Well, 100%, especially when we know that the car is damaged as well. You won't be able to hold on to this spot, you would think. Paulo Reagan. Reagan's now finally pulled a bit of a margin on Jason Green, remembering that they were together for a long while. He pitted 4 laps earlier. 4 laps has transitioned into 9 seconds. That's great for O'Regan, which shows the difference in tyre performance. If you can hold out on the tyres in your second stint, he's going to probably lose a lot of that ground back at the end, but Paul O'Regan doing a good job at the moment.
George van Rensburg in trouble with Klaus Siemitz, and there's been a little bit of argy-bargy as off the road goes George. And here's what looked like a really good qualifying has turned into a nightmare. And it's not the first time this season that George van Rensburg's been on the wrong side of Lady Luck.
Yeah, Van Rensburg seems to have a lot more bad luck than good luck in this series. Oh, that's just unfortunate, isn't it?
Netcode's there. It's difficult. Yeah, it is really difficult for George van Rensburg to deal with that. Not only is on pretty much the other side of the world from what he's having to deal with, you also have to remember as well that they have 16 hours of rolling blackout in South Africa.
Yeah. Not as much time on the sim as others, but great to see that this truly is a worldwide series, isn't it? We've got drivers from Germany, Austria, the UK, often we'll have Australians within it, plenty of Americans jumping in. Sure, it's more European dominant than most other areas, but still great to see so many nationalities racing in the series. Definitely showing why Formula Racing is the worldwide series.
Anthony Cat is not safe in 4th position. This is Ken Nielsen, Tobias Saal, 5th and 6th, and they want to make that 4th and 5th in a not too distant future. Last laps then for the pair, Cat 36.4, Nielsen 35.8, 6/10 a lap.
That won't take long, and remembering that Nielsen had to get past Tobias Saal as well, so he's had to make an overtake over the last couple of laps. He's only just got it done now, so Nielsen now with some clean air ahead, may be able to close that gap down to Anthony Cat. Again, we look at the timing screen and you see all too familiar names sitting in the top 5. Anthony Cat somehow still in the top 5, hasn't really done a huge amount of race, just lapping around doing his own thing. One thing he did do was provide an alternate strategy to what we were thinking everyone else would do, and it's playing out beautifully for he and Gronkowski. Sure, Gronkowski may be in a little bit of trouble in regards to pace currently, but Gronkowski and Cat seem to somehow pull these alternate strategies and make them work each and every round.
So here's my question for you as they scrap around just behind. Is Anthony Cat more Keke Rosberg or Alan Jones?
Both before my time. So how's that for an answer? That's me sitting on the fence.
Can't get an answer out of you.
Correct.
But anyway, we're still in with a great race. 13 laps left at this point. In comes Vicente Garcia Parra for his final stop. He'll go aggressive then on the soft tyres and get that going. I think right now for Jacob Reed, he knows he's got 5 seconds here to Walter Lux. The moment that Walter Lux passes him, I'd come in, get some softs, try and take the fastest lap away.
Yep, I agree. No point doing anything else than going for that fastest lap. If he can't get the point himself, he wants to make sure that nobody else can get it. Especially the guy that he's wanting to win the championship from, Marcel Fassbender. So, got to get that point when he can. Yeah.
Speaking of point, change of position just in front.
Yeah.
That was Thomas Knoll losing out to Florian Kammer. Remember, Knoll is on the hard tyre.
Hard tyre is Tobias Sal, who's... Oh, sorry, you're right. It is Thomas Knoll on the hard tyre. I'll shut up. Rain's still not working at 7 in the morning. Saying
By the
that,
way-
it doesn't work any day, so I probably should I?
Probably not. But still, Thomas Knoll losing those places, hemorrhaging them, actually, I would say at this point in time. 37.7 on that last lap. Jacob Reed was a second and a half quicker on 20-lap-old soft tyres.
So, I mean, can Jacob Reed somehow limp them around for 30 laps? I can't see how he can, but you know, if anyone can, it's one of the drivers like Jacob Reed who somehow make bizarre things happen. There's the overtake there for Thomas Knoll losing the spot. Straightforward overtake.
Incredibly straightforward overtake there. You couldn't really argue about that if you were Florian Kamai in terms of what he was hoping to get out of it. So not really anything too untoward. Now that gap again continues to claw down. It's 1.6 seconds here for Ken Nielsen. And Ken is one of those drivers who's super aggressive. We saw it in the early stages, trying to make a couple moves on Walter Lux. What was missed though with those moves is that twice he very nearly lost his race entirely trying to make those passes.
Yeah, exactly. He couldn't quite get the car pulled up at turn 5 and ran straight ahead, lost the spots both times to Tobias Sal, was it not?
Yeah.
He went through, so yeah.
And that's the key. The fact that he is going out there being aggressive. If he starts losing those places, then that's going to be all she and wrote at that moment in time. But still, Tobias Sal sits very patiently there in 6th place. And Tobias Sal, this almost feels like an offence to say this, but Tobias Sal is Anthony Cat light.
I understand exactly what you're meaning when you say that. Just able to do things that you don't expect, all of a sudden you look at the results and see that Tobias Sal is a lot further up than you had expected or realised or thought. So that just seems to make things happen that you're not expecting him to do. And Nielsen, you said before about Anthony Cat not being safe. Well, Kent Nielsen's not quite there. But I'm going to say by the next time they come around to this DRS zone, the run up to Canada Corner, that he will have DRS himself, Kent Nielsen. So we're going to see this 3-car fight close up as they cross the line for 10 to go.
And those final 10 laps of the race are going to be so fraught for so many drivers who can get what they want out of that final stage of the race. That's going to be the key that we're going to be seeing. Who can unlock the final stages of what they are all hoping for. This is a huge pivotal moment in terms of what everyone's looking for in this race. And for Anthony Cat, if he wants to continue on his charge forward for points when it comes to the iRacing Championship, when it comes to keeping in range with the SimSpeed Championship, now's the moment. Search to the inside from Tobias Sal. It's not there. because Ken Nielsen
Oh,
has
my
run
mistake.
wide, and he might get it. No!
Oh.
Big defense to the inside.
How did they not make contact there? Well done from Tobias Sal to avoid making contact with Kent Nielsen. No, I'm not surprised either. It's very aggressive from Kent Nielsen, which is no surprise either. Loves to get the elbows out, but yeah, just that was a lot closer than it needed to be there in that fight.
I tell you what, there was almost a shade there of Schumacher and Hill 94 that went on in that stage. You can see off the road he goes, now comes immediately across the defend. That's late on the brakes from Tobias Sal as he gets out of the way. And Ken Nielsen just takes his natural line through the corner. And Tobias Sal really just need a little bit more patience, but he was probably very G'd up in the moment. And this is where Tobias Sal is going to have to try and wake up and find an overtake sooner rather than later.
Yep, and what that little fight has done, it's cost them around about 3/4 of a second back. Anthony Catt, they were almost in DRS zone, almost in DRS range, but now it's out to 1.8 seconds. So that small error from Nielsen's cost the two drivers time to Anthony Catt. Now that's something that maybe Nielsen needs to remember as well. They work together. They could both get Anthony Catt and then continue their fight ahead of him. So this is going to be an interesting little phase of the race now with 9 to go. What will Sal do? He's got the pace. But again, that low downforce package that both Nielsen and Catt use, finding difficulty in getting the overtakes done.
And also on is the race for 10th position in this one. Jacob Reed will look behind him as we go on board and see there is the Austrian Walter Lux, who is trying to get into play and now steal a championship point away from car number 1, the Pro Stripe Jacob Reed.
Still going 24 laps on these tyres. He's going to try and get all the way, isn't he? Oh, he's going to try it.
Well, he has to try because he knows that he can catch maybe Thomas Knoll, but I think Knoll here has responded 36.5 on his last lap. Jacob Reed 36.6, so they've plateaued and evened out. So I think this for Jacob Reed is a desperate case of trying to hang on for as long as he possibly can. I wonder if that tyre might go pop.
I reckon it will with maybe 2 or 3 laps to go. I want to get a little look here with Kent Nielsen. Is he close enough now? It's down 1.1 seconds. Where is the activation detection point, I should say? He's there. Guess what? Green light is on.
Oh, and Jacob Reed is struggling as well as he has a moment. So it's all there. Everybody's now trying to sit up and set up here at this moment. Not yet for one Mr. Ken Nielsen in 5th place. He doesn't have to worry about that. Go back, though, to 10th. Because all of a sudden, Walter Lux is there, and he's just got to wait here with Jacob Reed. Wait for a chance to find a way past the Worcester man and get himself a SimSpeed Championship point.
That 1 point difference, it's huge for everyone else in the field if Jacob Reed gets none. Oh, to the grass!
4 tyres in the grass, trying to find the overtake. And he got away with it. How on earth?
I have no idea how he got away with that. He should have propelled that car into the walls and somehow he's still going and still close enough to fight for the position. This is some great driving from Walter Lux.
And it shows that Jacob Reed is willing to defend. And here's the key here for Walter Lux. He commits here to the inside, but Jacob Reed is already on that inside trying to defend it. Reed slightly late, slow in the way he's covering, and he has to be slow in how he defends because he's trying to save tyre.
Yeah, you can't be aggressive in movement and aggressive with braking. He's got to really, really be gentle and ginger on the tyres and make sure that they make the race distance. He's going to do 200 odd kilometres on a soft set of tyres. Now, my understanding is that the soft tyre was designed to only go about 100, 110 kilometres in race distance.
He's a tyre whisperer.
Obviously.
There's no other excuse for it. But now there should be no excuses because here comes the look to the inside from Walter Lux. He's now going to put himself up inside the top 10, and Jacob Reed, for the first time in this series since Imola, where he did not finish, is outside of championship points in a race like this. It is now on for 4th place. Anthony Cat, get your blocking boots on, my boy.
Yep, those elbows need to be pointy and wide right now because Kent Nielsen is looking for the spot, being aggressive and looking like he wants to get it done ASAP. 6.5 to go for these guys. Just 7 to go. 7 to go for these guys. Still plenty of racing left.
7 laps and still opportunity knocked at this moment in what is a very dark and very dingy Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. A very dingy road America at this moment, and up the hill they will now start to charge here, finding some sunlight here in the later, I would say later light of the year that they find themselves in. Cat still holding the margin here, just enough on those medium tyres from Kent Nielsen, from Tobias Saal, and this is where it plays into one Mr. Anthony Cat's hands. The more that he can make them scrap against him, the more his medium finds itself into its window.
Remember that Nielsen and Cat both have trimmed out low downforce package. 320 for Kent Nielsen. We saw 330 odd Anthony Cat when he had DRS earlier in the race, so maybe not quite as trimmed out as Nielsen over what Anthony Cat had. As well that something's happened to Marcel Fassbender on this lap. Nothing huge, but he has lost a second on this lap.
A whole second is something that you don't often see Marcel Fassbender losing out there, and I don't quite know where he would have lost it. So it's a case for him. He's still got 11.5 seconds. I don't think he really lost too much over this lap. 35.1 was his last go around, and it was on lap 42 that he had himself the issue that he had. So we'll take another look at some point here. Though it is a SimSpeed replay.
This is Walter Lux losing the spot back. Jacob Reed. Reed back through.
Jacob Reed's not giving this one up, and I tell you what, fair play to him. Walter Lux is going to scrap with him, and I tell you what, it's back on for that 10th place, you know, as Lux will now be side by side on the run to Canada corner. The long way, he gets it done with the DRS.
Nice move from Walter Lux back through, but this isn't done. There's no way this is done. Or is that a tyre popped? No, it's still going.
Oh,
I
it's going to be troublesome.
I heard tyre noise, tyre shutter. Still going. 5 laps. Can he get 32 laps out of this tyre? If he can do that, that's incredible.
Even if he doesn't get SimSpeed Championship points for it, it is incredible. Oh, mistake! Anthony Cat, mistake! 1 and 2, straight through!
Wow, Anthony Cat loses 2 spots in one go. Definitely an error. He's just outbroken himself.
Pressure, pressure, pressure telling for Anthony Cat on the brakes down the hill. You only have to miss it by 2 meters and you're straight on.
I don't think he even missed it by that. It was only half a meter, but the camber in the road just propelled him down the hill. Shot him wide, and I think he already knows his tyres are starting to struggle as it is. Now, my concern in this group is Tobias Saal.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
Trying to go the long way around at Canada corner. He gets pretty much told no. You've got to be alongside and through. You want to make it happen at Canada corner. It's such a difficult corner to go the long way around and make the pass.
oh, Nielsen runs wide out of the final corner. Now, these guys too, they're not done on tyres either. Will they be able to make it last? All of these guys are on really aggressive tyre life runs here. If they can all make it home, it's going to be brilliant. But I can't see all 3 of them making it home. Nielsen holds onto the spot, but only just.
Only for now. And the key is that the DRS now goes to Tobias Saal. So he now just has to set up the run. And he's got a chance. But the dirty air strikes through the corner. Anthony Cat rubbing his hands together, I would say virtually at this point, because he knows what happens if these two tangle together. He'll take those places straight back, straight down the inside, just as the prophecy foretold.
Almost as if you knew that was going to happen. Tobias Saal outbreaks himself with Kent Nielsen alongside. They interlock wheels, and Anthony Cat says, I'll take the freebie. Redressing the position there is Tobias Saal. Great sportsmanship there. don't have to do that in iRacing official series. But great sportsmanship there to see that he has done that willingly. Gives up the spot. He's going to fight it back. Love to see the sportsmanship in this series when you see things like that.
Yeah, you absolutely love to see that. Now here's how the tangle happens. Goes to the inside, just can't get it turned in. And that's the key. He gets it stopped on the brakes, and effectively the moment you hit the brake, you are committed to the line that you take. And that car was angled only one way over towards one Mr. Kent Nielsen.
One thing, I'm just going to rewind that and show again. Watch as the rear wing closes, the car almost swings to the to the right a little, doesn't it? It almost moved into him as that rear wing closed. So the DRS may have played a little impact in that.
It might have done, because especially down the hill, you get that sudden influx of grip. You're then fighting basically over the bumps to say, okay, well, how much more grip do I have? And that's where the troubles sort of found themselves in. There's still chances for YSL to get that mid-place.
This isn't done.
He's going to need a little bit of help if he wants to get it done.
No, this is not over. This battle here is not over now. What did we say just before? We're talking about tyre life. This is now Tobias Sal's 25th lap on these softs. Kent Nielsen's 22nd lap. And Anthony Katz's 24th lap on these softs. That's 10 laps more than peak performance in their soft tyres. So they're getting this home with nothing left in the tread. And on Jacob Reed watch, he's still going. He's hoping for more incidents like that, because I think that might be the way that he scores a point here. He scrounges a point because someone DNFs this race. Don't want to see it, but you feel like it's going to happen.
Well, if it's not going to be this group, it will be Paul O'Regan and Thomas Knoll, who are 8th and 9th at this moment in time. That's the other scrap inside the top 10 that Jacob Reed is hoping that he can capitalise on in the final stages of this race. But these two have been very good at the consistent points. For Thomas Knoll, what we thought making a faux pas on going onto the hard tyre, he's still going to get a good result out of it.
Yeah, he's still looking very, very nice at the moment. Knoll, at worst, you'd think will be a ninth. You'd feel like Reagan should get by. He's on the freshest softs out of anyone except for Walter Lux in the top 10. This isn't over between Sal and Nielsen either, because they were almost side by side at Canada Corner. 2 laps to go though. Means that there's only 4 real passing opportunities now for Tobias Sal to get this move done. One of them's coming up very quickly.
There are 3 legends here in this state of Wisconsin, just a little bit north from here at Green Bay. Bart Starr, Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. We have seen names in lights over the course of this racing, over the course of this season, but who is going to find themselves with a star-studded performance to move into 5th place in the final stages of this race, Jay?
Nielsen looks like he might be okay. Wondering if Tobias Sal, that attempt at Canada on the previous lap was his last chance effort, because he hasn't got anything left in the tyre. You can just see now the car really starting to understeer. He's not hitting the apexes properly, running wide at every corner. He's not able to get on the throttle. Closes up nicely under brakes. It just got nothing left to fight with at the end.
1 lap remains though for car number 2, who leads this one outright by 14 seconds in this one at the moment. His name is Marcel Fassbender, a driver without a shadow of a doubt, who has been one of the highlight drivers over the course of this season. He came into today 2nd in the SimSpeed Championship, top of the iRacing Championship, looking to try and put all the points together to get one almighty result out of it, a chance to jump up. There is a move on, and completed, and in the wall, and just like that, Paul O'Regan finds himself in trouble with a lap and a bit to go. Jacob Reed will put himself in 10th position, but his tyres have to hold on the final lap of this race if he wants to still get championship points. Marcel Fassbender will arrive on the scene in a moment, in a race which he has proven he has the potential to go out and challenge for. He's needed a little bit of luck. He's had a horrible stint in Japan, where his 2 races, Suzuka and Fuji, took him completely out of title contention. He is back with a vengeance. De Marcel, count him out. He will come to the line and win here at Road America.
What a drive from Marcel Fassbender. Ends up over 15 seconds clear of Jordan Gronkowski, who tried his best, but it's all in vain in the end, unfortunately for him. Connor Pooler's going to pick up a valiant third place. 5th and 6th is not done. It was a huge lock-up for Tobias Sale, but he's not going to get the place. And Walter Lux, Thomas Knoll, they've finally changed position. Thomas Knoll now drops back into 9th. But somehow Jacob Reed, as long as his tyres hold on, he's going to steal a point. And literally steal it, because there's no way he deserved one.
No, he found the barriers. He was way out of position after having to make his stop, a long stop at that as well. And he knows that he's still got a margin on Jason Green for that final point in the SimSpeed Championship. And we talk about fine margins. 1 point might be the finest that he gets through the final corner. It won't matter if his tyre pops now, and up the hill he goes. That is huge as he comes to the line. A 10th place of the ages.
Congratulations though to Marcel Fassbender. What a drive. That was a brilliant performance from him. Thoroughly deserved win.
So thoroughly deserved, and the confirmation of results are as follows: 1 hour 15 minutes 46 seconds. Marcel Fassbender puts on an absolute showcase against Jordan Gronkowski. His strategy was the supreme one, and he beats him by 16.5 seconds over the line. Connor Pooler will finish with a great podium here, with Anthony Catt again just trying to pick the points up. Another 4th place finish ahead of Kent Nielsen and Tobias Sale, who tangled late in the race. Then it was Florian Kameyer in 7th, a very respectable result for him, with Walter Lux in 8th, Thomas Knoll in 9th, and Jacob Reed, magic, a rabbit out of the hat, a 10th place. He's car number 1. He gets 1 championship point. Jason Green will be on the wrong side of it. He'll finish 11th, with George Van Rensburg in 12th, Ray Griffioen and Klaus Siemertz 13th and 14th, with Adam McDonald from Club New England 1 lap down, the first lap down drivers, in 15th. That also included Vicente Garcia Parra and Paul O'Regan finding the barriers with a lap to go, gifting the point over to Jacob Reed, with Etienne Desclous, Kelly Decker, Balazs Galliard, and then Adam Barta in 21st position, retirees from the race that we have had. We talk about how important the fine margins are. This is one of the great battling circuits that you'll ever find 1 week from today here, Jay. It is the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache. Interlagos, in my mind, should always be the final round of any Formula Championship.
Agree. I don't like that it's no longer the final round. It always felt like it should be. It always was back when I was a kid. It was so good. After Adelaide was the final round, it went to Interlagos, and it always feels like it was the home of the finale. It's where you crown the champion. We won't crown a champion yet. Still 3 rounds to go, and this is going to be absolutely crucial before we get into the coin flip, the luck box, the unknown of Belle and Indy with 2 to go. It's going to be fantastic when we get to Interlagos next week.
And the only place you can find that is with us at SimSpeed TV. If you haven't had the chance to already, you can like, you can share, and you can subscribe. But the iRacing Grand Prix Tour still continues to rumble on, and we thought that in terms of a SimSpeed Championship, it was over and it was done with. It is anything but at this point. Marcel Fassbender is now back in play. So too Jordan Gronkowski, so too Anthony Catt. It's all about picking up those points, and at the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache, anything is possible. We will see you 1 week from today.